It's tea, but it's tea made with strawberry flavored drinking yogurt because I don't have milk anymore. It doesn't taste very good. It didn't mix very well. So this week I wanted to go on this great adventure somewhere not very far away from here, but on Tuesday night I became really sick. I spent the whole night throwing up, and I still had a lot of exams and assignments to prepare, so it was really bad timing, and I decided not to film this video. So instead I'm just gonna tell you what's been happening lately. So yeah, on Tuesday night I think I had like food poisoning. I spent the whole night throwing up, and then I skipped class the next day because I was just too sick. So I don't know if you remember or if you watched my previous videos, but in a video I made a few weeks ago I talked about the fact that I had a lot of assignments and a presentation for my thesis, as well as a literature review that I needed to submit. And I've done all of that. But the thing is, in that video I also talked about the fact that I would like to move somewhere else, not very far away from here, in a few months, like probably May or June, I'm not sure yet. And I told you that that place was not very far away from here, but I didn't say where it was exactly, and it's not in the European Union. Well, it's in the UK basically. So I need a visa, and I'm gonna make a whole video about how I plan on doing that and the preparation and everything. But basically the most important thing that I need to do right now is get the best grades possible, because if I get a first, then it might be easier for me to convince people to sponsor me and give me a visa. So I've just been trying to get really good grades recently, and I got my first couple of grades back. So my thesis is going to be the biggest module of my entire course. I think it's worth 3 modules. So every grade is basically multiplied by 3, which is huge. And for my thesis presentation, which was worth 2% of my thesis, so not that much, I got 75%. If you're not familiar with this kind of like grading scale thing, a first, which is the best grade that you can get, is anything above 70%. So 75% is 5% above that, which is really good. So I was really happy about that. And then I also had my literature review, which I submitted a week later, and I just got my grade back. So I've been calling my mum every day for like emotional support, and every day I would be like, yeah, I think my literature review is worth maybe 55%, and then the next day I would call her again and be like, oh no, now it's 60%, and the next day it would be like somewhere between 65 and 70. And you know, when I submitted it, I told my mum that it was probably worth somewhere around 65% to 75%, but I had no idea exactly how much. So yeah, I submitted my literature review and I got my grade back a couple of days later. I had more than 80%. So I was really happy about that because it's worth 8% of my thesis. And then if you add the 2% for the presentation, it means that my whole thesis right now, or at least 10% of it, is worth 80%. And my goal was just to get something above 70%. So that's amazing. I'm incredibly happy. It makes me want to work even harder in order to get good grades and hopefully get a visa. So yeah, that was the first amazing piece of news. But then another thing is, I didn't know if I wanted to talk about it in my video, but it's gonna have a big impact on this YouTube channel and also something else. So yeah, a few weeks ago we were told that we could apply for a scholarship and that only one person would get it, and it was a really big scholarship, and I kind of knew that I wouldn't get it, but you know, I would be a fool not to apply. So basically we had to send a letter saying what we would do if we got the money for the scholarship. So we had to have a project, and I think that project had to be something that we could put in place this year. So I'd been considering creating a website for a few months now, because the thing is, I love making these videos, but talking to a camera, it's intimidating. It's like, I'm definitely out of my comfort zone. You might see it, I think it's quite obvious, but I just love to write. I love to write so much. So I thought maybe creating a blog, like some kind of travel blog, since my videos are mostly about traveling, seeing different places. So I thought, what if I just created a travel blog and used it to express myself through written English instead of just talking to a camera. So that's what I talked about in my letter for the scholarship. I said that if I got the money, I would use it to, first of all, improve my YouTube channel. I need to invest in a good camera, and there are a few other things that I want to buy that I'm gonna buy soon. But then there is also a cost to creating a website. You can make it for free, but I wanted it to be like as professional as possible, so you need to pay for that. And then I submitted the letter, and then a few days later they invited me to have an interview with the CEO of a tourism company here in Ireland, one of my teachers, and the son of the person who's giving us the scholarship. So it was really intimidating, but I couldn't say no, of course. And I was so happy that I got to go to the interview. That was amazing. It was a great opportunity. But I went there thinking that I wouldn't get the scholarship, but I thought, let's just take it as an experience. I get to talk about my project, which I knew I was going to do anyway. Even if I didn't get the scholarship, I was going to create this website. So I thought maybe it would just be a good opportunity to talk about my project with people who had a bit more experience than I do. And so that's what I did. And it made it a lot less stressful to not have any expectations. And then a few days later, I received an email telling me that I got the scholarship. I'm not the only one who got it. They gave it to 2 people. But that means that I don't have an excuse now to not start the website. So a few days ago I created the website. I bought the domain. I'll put the link in the description for my website. And I also wrote the first blog. I'm gonna try to upload 1 blog a week, as well as 1 YouTube video a week. It's gonna be tough, but I think I can do it, because I also study, of course. And yeah, so that's it, basically. I only spent a couple of days on the website, and I had to start over after the first day, so it's not very good yet. And if you look at my website on a mobile phone, it's probably not gonna work. It keeps breaking. But yeah, on laptops it should work. Yeah, it's not very easy. I've never created a website before, and I'm doing it all by myself. So I'm gonna get better, and I'm gonna spend more time working on it. I have a few ideas of things I want to create. I just don't know how to create them yet. So yeah. If you look at my website now and you go back on my website a few weeks from now, it will look completely different, but you'll have to give me some time to change a few things. And yeah, so that's really exciting. I'm really proud of myself for creating this whole thing. It wasn't easy. I thought it would be, but it wasn't. I know that these podcast-ish videos are not as interesting as the adventures that I sometimes film, but I don't always have time to leave my house and run around and do fun things. Yeah, still have a lot of assignments. 2 of them are due next week, but it will be fine. So yeah, and I also wanted to say thank you to like everyone basically. I know that I have a really, really small community. The people are really nice. I'm just so grateful. Yeah, so I just wanted to say thank you.
If he made us to be happy, why do we always seem so sad? Will you stay